everybody, and welcome to another episode of And Just Like That, We Found Therapy. I have with me today Nicole Nasr, who's another repeat guest. She is a therapist and CEO and founder of Journey. That is an excellent network of therapists that also does workshops and provides them with like a space for them to find clients. A lot of people from Journey have come on. Welcome back, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Very good. Today we are here to discuss Season 2, Episode 10 of Sex and the City, the Caste System, which is a problematic episode in itself, but basically the theme of this episode is how there are different ranks of people is within relationships, who's more in love and who's not, who has more money and who doesn't, servants, celebrities and stuff like that. Do you feel like there's a lot of power play when it comes to romantic relationships?
Yes, unfortunately, and it's very interesting because I was watching the episode this morning with one of my really good friends.
Yeah.
And she just paused like that, and she's like, I would never date someone that is not from the same background. And I was like, why? She said, well, it's just like they're not from the same background. Like she wouldn't give me more. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, give me more. And obviously I have to dig deep, like it's my job. So yeah. I was like, tell me more. What do you mean by this? And then I could tell that, yeah, like she was talking, because a lot of the things that she gave as an example, like, activities that we like doing, having been to the same kind of places, you bond over these elements. And I was like, yeah, but all of that can be also learned, right? Yeah. Like you can get to know someone and really go into their world and vice versa. But it's a lot of work to put a lot of these things on the side. Yeah. And then we ended with the conclusion that actually you would have to love the person so much in order, or really be into them in order to work around these things. Because the way I see them, they're just small, in a way, obstacles for you to be able to develop a relationship and a really good base with this person. Yeah. And when you like them enough, especially right at the beginning, these stories where like it's just in a way love at first sight, this intense connection and all that, it doesn't happen as often as we would like to,
and one of the ways that this episode explores that difference in level of power or circumstances is we get introduced. I think Carrie's talking about how much she loves New York, and she's going out with Mr. Big, and she says she's talking about the fact that she feels that she is in love with him, and she was like, there was the first time that I felt it, the first time that I felt like saying it, and then I love this relationship as much as I want to find all what's problematic with Mr. Big. I love this relationship. And then there's a time that he is coming to pick her up to take her to a Park Avenue party, and he gives her a gift that is so not her, that it's like this clutch, that it's a swan or something, that I actually find hilarious, because in the spin-off And Just Like That, Sarah Jessica Parker is wearing a clutch that is a pigeon. But she gets the purse and she looks at him and she says, I love you. And he gets really uncomfortable and says, all right, you're welcome, we gotta go. So my first question is, because I know you also personally, and I love the fact that you handle, or I love the way that you handle yourself with your friends, with men. I know that you're married, but like the way that we've talked about things. Do you have any rules as a therapist and as a woman on how and when you say I love you, and what is expected after that?
I love this moment, because when you say I love you, and if we talk in the scene, it was really out of nowhere. Yeah. Right? And I think that's an element that people have to be ready, that if you're going to just spare it for the first time and it's a little bit out of nowhere, it's not that you were like somewhere and you were really having a moment, an incredible connection. Yeah. Both of you. Not just one of you. Both of you at the same time. Yeah. It's safer, right? Yeah. It's safer to say it, it's safer to feel it. Yeah. Because it's a very vulnerable moment, right? Yeah. And the first one that is going to jump at, like there, someone has to be courageous here. But there are like there's like a playground in which you can play that can feel very safe, and other ones that hers was just so out of the blue. They're going out for dinner. He gave her a gift. She didn't say anything about the gift.
Yeah.
Because also it could have been like, thank you so much. That like it's really sweet. You do a lot of things like that you know are out of the blue, and that makes me feel better. Like she could have there could have been an introduction to that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just you see it, and then I love you.
Yeah.
So obviously for someone maybe that was not there, and then obviously we know what at the end of can I mention the end of the episode?
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, I'm assuming that everybody saw it. But at the end of the episode, he calls her and he tells her, it's a very triggering word for me.
Yes.
Like, it's a very triggering thing, right? So
I mean, yeah, I think that's a harder conversation to have than just to say like, I love you back, just to avoid the hard conversation.
Absolutely.
It is interesting that she decides to say it because I see her face and she looks at the clutch and she obviously hates it. But I find it hilarious. It's like, oh, what do I say to this? I love you. But then we switch on to the girls at brunch and Carrie saying like, I said I love you and he said you're welcome, and they're like, okay, what are you gonna do? And she's basically, well, I guess this is more or less like a dairy product in the fridge. I have to like break up with him if he doesn't say it within a week. What do you think about that rule of thumb?
I think it's stupid. I generally believe it's so stupid because, well, it again, not saying I love you back can mean so many different things.
Yeah.
And it's not black and white like that. It's not okay. I'll give him a deadline.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it back. Okay, it means that this is going nowhere.
Yeah.
It's quite the opposite. Some people might tell you I love you after 2-3 dates, and it might not mean anything.
Yeah.
And some people might not tell you, but their actions and their so you, for me, anytime I have clients that are coming with like it comes always from a place of insecurity because as if hearing it back is guaranteed.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything. You can have something, obviously it feels good and it feels nice and it feels safe.
Yeah.
But also there are other ways of feeling safe. Do you still feel safe when you are with this person? Do you feel seen? Do you feel respected? Or do they make efforts in other places? What's their love language? Do you, like, if the answers are quite positive in this, then give this person their own time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree, but it's so hard because I feel like on his shoes, I always try so hard to reassure the person that I'm with. I never want to hurt their feelings.
Yes.
And I guess sometimes that comes to my detriment. But besides that, I think the next scene is like Miranda going out with Steve, and they start framing their relationship to showcase the difference in background and the difference in, financial power that they have. And they're going out for pizza, and Miranda says, I have this event at my company. I would love for you to be my date. Do you have a suit? And we basically then go to Steve's apartment that looks horrendous, and Miranda sees this gold corduroy suit, and she's like, we need to get you a suit. And I really want to talk to you about this because it was so sad to watch Steve, because I think Steve is such a good guy, and like he's trying all those things on, and like I think the suit is like $1,800, and then the shoes might be like another $600, and he's just like, whoa, this is so expensive. And Miranda's like, let me buy it for you. And then they're at the till, Steve's credit card is not working, Miranda offers to pay for it, and that's when Steve starts losing his school. And what do you think about that? How Steve handled that? Miranda offering to pay, because even in this day and age, I think there's a lot of men that find women being more financially stable or powerful than them very emasculating.
The first thing that I thought when I saw this scene was, I don't understand, there are no other types of suit, like, because I was my husband was also next to me, and I was like, $1,800 for a suit in the 90s. Like, that's a lot. Really, like that must be a really expensive suit.
Yes.
Right? Because you can find suits for $200, $300. Now, we don't know the backstory. Was Was it Miranda that was insisting on him buying it from this shop? And if that is the case, this is for her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not for him.
Yeah.
However, if you go a bit deeper, it's true that it's mainly for her, but their inability to say it as that, because it's not, he doesn't want it. He doesn't need it. She needs that. She needs him to go to this dinner looking a certain way.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it taps then into his own insecurity.
Yeah.
Because he has one.
Yeah.
Right? If he was completely comfortable, in the sense that, like, I generally don't care. Like, this is who I am. You take me as I am. Fine. You want me to go to this dinner and look a certain way because that's a reflection of you.
Yeah.
As a lawyer in this firm. Fine, buy it for me.
Yeah.
I can't afford that.
Yeah.
What I'm willing, for me, like, as my, what I can pay is maybe a suit for 200, 300. If you want to add the bling bling to it, blah, blah, then that's because you want that.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need to do that.
Yeah. And what do you think about when Steve shows up? Like, I know this is a show, but, like, he shows up and Miranda's like, why are you dressed like that? And I love that Steve was like, I don't love the fact that he said, I think you should be with someone that is at your level. But, like, I love the fact that he said, I returned it. I cannot afford it. That must have been really hard. And he also said, being with you in that store made me feel really bad about myself. And now I would ask you, if you were Steve's therapist, would you also tell him, like, this is not the relationship for you?
I wouldn't say this is not the relationship for you. I would say you have to be able to have this conversation in this relationship. You clearly like her.
Yeah.
She clearly also likes you.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, the two of you wouldn't be together. So there is something there.
Yeah.
What I would encourage him to say is that, because pay attention to what she says to her friend.
Yeah.
She says he's happy with who, like, it's not that he's an artist wanting to become, like, a bartender wanting to become an artist.
Yeah.
He's a bartender and he is satisfied. He's happy with this life.
Yeah.
So what I think made him feel not right is the fact that he's being asked to change for this person.
Right.
And that change, he can't afford it.
Yeah.
On different levels.
Yeah.
Probably intellectually as well, from a financial perspective. Like, on many levels, he can't afford that. So for me, it would be that conversation of, does she need you to become someone else?
Yeah.
If she says, please, I would love for you to come to this firm dinner with me, can we have the conversation where you actually say, I'm not going to be that kind of partner.
Yeah.
Regardless of the money.
Yeah.
Some partners are just like, I'm not, I have friends that are married and, like, there are limits in places. Like, I'm not going to be the wife that's going to come and network with you in certain event. Maybe, pick one over 10. Whereas they would like for the partner to be there 10 over 10.
Yeah.
But pick one and I'll come. But I'm not going to be this partner. And you have to be okay with it if we're going to be together. Because
I think when I look at the potential of relationships as I'm getting older, like, seeing, like, how strong are the pillars of this relationship and what's the longevity of it, I guess I would get my pillars as, like, okay, what are your family values? What's your lifestyle like? For me, it is important, like, not for them to be, like, at my level, but I definitely don't want to be sponsoring our lifestyle. I want that to be matched and I don't want to step down. I don't mind being spoiled. And then obviously, like, what's your plan for the future in terms of, like, what do you see yourself in? And in that equation for Miranda and Steve, I guess, and I personally also need to look up and respect who I'm with, and to me also that comes with, like, an ambition in career. Where do you think, because we obviously see how Miranda and Steve pan out, but, like, do you think that relationship was a bit doomed?
Yes. I've always said that.
Yeah.
Like, for me, also when a couple, like, breaks up, come back, like, because that there's stuff there, right? I mean, it's not to say that it's not a good relationship even if you did break up, but there is stuff there, and that stuff, the reality of it is that it hasn't really changed. I mean, I remember later on he ends up opening his bar. Okay, that's more ambitious.
Yes.
But the difference here is that he clearly says that he doesn't want anything more.
Yes.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
And the problem with this relationship is because Miranda cares a lot about her career. So, and then you have to again go a bit deeper in the sense that what makes her love and respect another person.
Yeah.
You know, and if supporting each other, having these intellectual conversations, pushing each other, being, you know, strategic about our lives and all, it's a very core thing in this relationship, then yes, it's not going to work. However, if she is very much craving this, when I'm at work, it's very intense, and once I go out of it, I want my life to have nothing to do with my career. Then Steve, and this is what we end up seeing later on.
Yeah.
That Steve is this like very safe space. He takes care of the family. He's the
housewife.
Yeah, I was gonna say the house husband.
Yeah.
But he's that, and then that's great because, you know, if she doesn't like that, that is a great deal to have one of the people in the couple to be a high achiever, then the other one to be there to take care of the base. And I mean, we see it all the time, but just reversed. You know, if he is happy to take that role, then yes. But if Miranda was let's say Miranda was a Samantha.
Yeah.
Samantha is very much around the career, like we see it after with Smith.
Yeah.
Like they're both very ambitious. They're traveling. They pick up the phone. You know, where are you? Let's meet there. Like we help each other. It's very, that partnership is important.
Yeah.
So it does come back down a bit to this.
I think I agree with you, but like I think that even when the roles are reversed, more and more I see some husbands that cheat on their wives that have been stay-at-home moms because they lose respect for them. They have nothing in common.
I know.
Okay, then back to my girl Carrie. They go to this party with Serena, I don't know what, in Park Avenue, and like Carrie's being a bitch.
Yeah.
And like I like her when she's like that, but I'm like, ugh, use some tools in your toolbox, go to therapy, communicate.
Yeah.
And I would like to get your notes on like how she is with Mr. Big, because like I like a few things that she said. So she basically is like not in a good mood. She's going to smoke a cigarette to the terrace, runs into Jeremiah, who apparently is catering this party, but is also a very famous performance artist. And then they're talking about his tattoo, and she's like, oh, how far down does it go? And I thought, maybe I'm a prude, but like if I were her, I would never have that conversation with another man if I was in a committed relationship.
Yeah. But the moment that I saw her walk into the party, even before, and by the way, I had completely forgotten about this episode.
Okay.
Completely. Like, I don't even remember watching it. This is how much I dissociated with this episode. But from the moment that she walked, and you see her, the outfit, the hair, the demeanor and all, I was like, she is so rebellious. Like, she's going to fuck shit up. Yeah. Literally. I don't know what she's going to do. I have no idea. Yeah. But this is the face of a girl that is going to rebel tonight. And so when she does that, you can feel like she's a bit angry.
She's aggressive.
Yeah, she's aggressive. She wants to rebel. She's like, you know, it's like my parents are inside and we're like the kids smoking a cigarette in the garage, and like we're rebelling against like the status quo and you know, these like Upper East Side anal people. And
I guess the more, because I think she walks in and she also sees all these other women carrying the same purse that he gave her, and I guess she's just like, the more you're gonna try to put me in that box, the more I'm gonna go and hang out with the cater waiters and like whatever. But I like the fact that when she walks back in, Serena's telling Mr. Big, like, basically, I saw your date giving a blowjob to the cater waiter. And Mr. Big goes over and is like, were you really giving a blowjob to the cater waiter? And I like the way Carrie handled herself, because she was like, he's not a cater waiter. He's a very famous performance artist. And he was like, that doesn't answer my question. And she says, because your question is offensive. I love that.
Didn't you feel like it was a bit of a child-parent relationship in that moment? Like the being told off and her, you know, like just, I think it's a great response, by the way, but knowing that children often give great response to
I
parents.
see.
She was being told off, you know, for misbehaving and at the party. And then he tells her, "You're embarrassing me."
Yes.
It's very...
And then when she walks up and she's like, "You go, I'm having a great time." That was very childish.
But no, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I meant by, like, she's rebelling against something, like he represents something and she's struggling with it, she doesn't agree with it. That's why she picks up on that comment.
Yeah.
It's like, why, you know, he's like, he's a great performance artist.
Yeah.
Like so it's she's rebelling, but I like that.
Yeah. And then I guess Mr. Big leaves and we see Carrie walking back home with Jeremiah. They're both wasted. They kiss and they wake up the next morning because Mr. Big calls her, and that's when they have that conversation saying like, I know what you're really mad about. And they have the conversation that you said, like, it's very hard for me to say I love you. And she keeps quiet, and I feel like for one she's not trying to fill in his words and the silences and making excuses for his lack of availability, and he does say it. I love you. So she says, whatever happened before I love you doesn't count, so I'm never going to tell him about Jeremiah. What do you think of that?
I didn't like that.
Okay.
I didn't because she just invented a rule that was convenient for her.
So you think that if you cheat, because sometimes I feel it's kind of selfish to confess.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that she should have confessed. I'm just saying that rule that she created like that.
It's bullshit.
I don't believe in rules that are convenient. You know what I mean? It's just like, it was convenient to say that.
Yeah.
But like, you know, couple of days maybe before, like she was about to break up with this person for not, like, so obviously it was a very big deal for her.
Yes.
This relationship is a big deal.
Yes.
So now the cheating or the kissing with and this is not to say like she has to go and say it, but for me is as long as you don't create rules out of convenience and that your partner is also aligned, you know?
Right.
That you both feel like, okay, we were dating, and like for me, for instance, like it was from the moment that we kissed, I think like on the third date, that I felt like, okay, I actually don't want to see someone else. Like this was my little thing.
Yeah.
But before we kissed, I was like talking to like 2-3 other people, and then like that hit it for me. But for me and for him, and obviously we didn't talk about it, but like it was like a sous-entendu, like we just knew, right?
Yeah.
But for her, I just felt like it was out of convenience, and I didn't
It was out of convenience, but in the greater scheme of things, I think she tries so hard to be the perfect girlfriend that she thinks he wants, that I was like, yeah, dude, fuck shit up. I'm like, Jeremiah doesn't matter. You matter.
And he doesn't matter. The truth is that in the bigger picture, which we know about, he really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I agree that sometimes there are things that you do that you know it doesn't matter. It shouldn't be part of the story. It's a fuck up, you know. And if you were to really be honest, perhaps the relationship is not strong enough. He would have thought that she's like. So I understand not telling him.
Yeah.
Right? For me, it was just like she could have. Maybe in the episode, it would have just been like, I decided not to tell him because he doesn't matter in the story.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
But it's like I said, it's just the creating something now that...
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. I haven't really talked about Charlotte and Samantha because I think, you know, they have really funny stories but like less relevant to therapy. So maybe we can skip to the advice to the girls. But in this episode, Charlotte meets like a celebrity at the gallery and like say, you know, he's the equivalent of Leonardo DiCaprio right after the beach. And she kind of like throws away all her like Connecticut Park Avenue persona to be in the clique of this dude.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions for you. The first one would be, if you were Carrie and she had called you from the limousine, would you also have told her to run?
No.
Right? It was a fun story.
Yeah, I would have been like, have fun. Enjoy it.
But what would you tell her as a therapist if she was like, oh, you know, like, he made me do a bunch of things that didn't feel like me?
Did she say that over? No, she
No,
didn't say that.
but like you can see that she is like carrying the drinks,
Yeah,
and like she
it's
becomes
not-
a groupie,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then he blows.
But she picked herself up.
She
like,
did.
Right?
Yes.
And like everybody has their own limit of how much bullshit
Yes.
they're willing to take. I love that she knows what that limit is,
Yes.
and that she just had like this moment of like, okay, I snapped out of it. This is
So-
where I draw the line.
Because to me, what I read out of this is like, it's fine, you know, go down the rabbit hole, maybe do things that are not for you, as long as like you catch yourself, and then you have walked the walk, you learn the lesson. That's where you drew the line.
Yeah, and also you get to know quite a lot about yourself and how low sometimes we're willing to go.
Yeah.
And then obviously again as a therapist, it's like why was I willing to go this low? And perhaps and I love it because it was so short lived.
Yeah.
As exactly that situation should have been.
Yeah.
So for me there was no more or less like it started in very fast, it ended also very fast. Great.
Yeah.
And then you take it for what it is. It was a bit thrilling for her, the limousine, the all of that. She has a funny story.
Yeah.
That's it. Move on with your life.
Okay. And how would you tell her to sit? Like, let's say after everything, Charlotte goes back home and she's like feeling shameful about it because like, oh my God, like I was carrying the drinks and like he blew like a joint inside my mouth and blah blah blah. What if somebody saw me? I closed the gallery too early. How do you deal with those feelings of like maybe shame after, even though she picked herself up at the end?
I would ask her who inside of you felt the need to do all these things.
Yeah.
Because there's someone, right?
Yeah.
There's a girl inside of you, again a rebel,
Yeah.
that is able to just say fuck everything.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go and do that. And there's a very interesting comment when she says like the submissive part, like he has this power where he tells me to do stuff and I want to obey. I think she even uses the word obey. So there is a side that for me are two different sides, okay? But it's like she's someone else was in control.
Yeah.
And was just telling her, and she was a bit enchanted in it.
Yeah.
So I would give voice to that side of her that did all these things and be like, all right, well, clearly there's a need somewhere every now and then maybe for that voice to come out. How can we make that side of you come out?
Yeah.
Have a good time while still, respecting the way that you usually do things. So,
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll have clients that like you see there's quite a lot of repetitive rebellious behavior.
Yeah.
So obviously someone inside is wanting to rebel against something.
Yeah.
What are we rebelling against?
Yeah.
How does this rebellious feel satisfying for you to be like, okay, I got it out of my system? And then obviously sometimes it's a bit destructive because it can be around like binge drinking or alcohol or a lot of sex or so you always want to make sure that the person is safe and like it's well maintained in a way. But you give voice to that. You don't the problem that people do is that you shut it down.
Okay.
Because of the
that.
shame.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Okay, and then Samantha is dating this guy that has a servant called Sum. And how would you have reacted? Because I was very shocked at Samantha's reaction. Samantha's in PR. I would have worked that Sum back into like what I needed from the guy that I was dating. How would you have reacted if you were in her position and you were dating somebody with a servant that was basically all nice and good manners and super, service forward, but then as soon as he turned around, she was a bitch to her?
I thought obviously I have so much respect for Samantha.
Yeah.
And I think it just like multiplied by 100 in that scene. Where like the moment that she's just like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
And she leaves. I was just like, that woman has literally no time for any toxicity, any bullshit relationship, like even setup. She's and I love that. I love the fact that she didn't even try to defend herself. She said it like you don't want to. She says something like I also have something to say, or like
yeah.
And he says, no, I can't believe you. And she was just like, okay. I mean, obviously not in this way. Like she leaves like off, but I respect that so much. She
knows who she is. She knows the
100%,
truth.
100%. And I don't have an ounce of more time that I'm going to give to this. And she's like, she's just very good at removing herself from something that doesn't work for her.
I'm gonna like burn that into my memory, because I was like, wait, say something, because I would have been like,
Right?
no, you know that's so nice.
I would have
Yeah.
done the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Because unfairness, being treated unfairly,
Yeah.
is very much like of an ego thing,
Yeah.
right? Because the ego needs to prove that actually it's good and it's right,
Yeah.
and please love me, and please,
Yeah.
like I'm so for her to have done that in that moment, I find it to be a very, like, people that are highly spiritually connected, very
Yeah.
zen would have reacted this way of just,
Yeah.
can I explain? No, done. I'm out.
Okay.
And I found I was like, well done.
I have a lot of work to do.
that.
Okay, then for Miranda, I think, how, because I think at the end of the episode, she's at the party alone, and she's like, she kept thinking, what was wrong with gold corduroy anyway? How, because they break up over this. What would you have told her? Because it is a big thing to have like such difference in economy and like buying capacity or whatever you call it. How would you have coached her around it? Because like, I'm such a hopeless romantic. I would be like, fight for it. If you really think there's nothing wrong with gold corduroy, sit down with Steve and have a conversation of like, what are you comfortable to give me? And like, what are you comfortable with me being maybe the one that earns more money here?
It's interesting that you say this, because I was gonna ask. I would have asked her that question. What are you comfortable with receiving? And when she says at the end, like, but actually, what was wrong with that suit? I was just thinking, like, I think she didn't necessarily stop to really think about it.
Yeah.
I think she's, being a woman in a law firm in the 90s, being like very driven, having more money. You're sometimes a bit too distracted by that issue in itself. For me, I don't think it was that issue with Steve, and actually we see it later on. He doesn't mind her being the like main, breadwinner in the family. He doesn't mind that. So I think that was almost like the beginning for her to start. Like, if she was my client, I would have been like, let's actually explore. Why did you say no to that suit straight away?
Yeah.
Was it the look? Were you afraid of what people were going to think? So let's dig a bit deeper into what this brings up for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because she does have this ability to. She's very fair.
Yeah.
I find her to be one of the most reasonable one out of the four. Like, she's well balanced. If it makes sense, she can go with it. She's quite rational. And I like that about her. So, in that comment, my first thought was like, I don't even know that she realized how important some stuff are and aren't for her, and what she's willing to let go of or not. So what was a bit unfair on Steve's part was that he made the decision for that, because he could have said, listen, I'm not going to go to this. I don't, like, let's talk a bit more about it when the event finishes. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I know that I can be this and this, but I cannot be this.
Yeah.
And then, it's for her to decide, all right, well, how important is it for him to be that in my life?
Yeah.
And so this, I thought it was a bit too...
abrupt.
Yes, but obviously it then shows that he might also have some insecurities when it comes to this.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally for Carrie, how would you sit with a client that maybe has said, I love you, and she's like, there's still not that phone call, she's not receiving it back, and she's telling you, I think I'm gonna have to break up with him? What would you say?
First I would roll my eyes. I like even on my clients, I'd be like, stop it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Why do you need, what do those words represent for you?
Yeah.
Is it just that, okay, we're on the same line? Fine.
It also means power. Like, you feel
like you gave your power.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we call vulnerability.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll be vulnerable and it won't be reciprocated.
Yeah.
And how does that then feel for you to be standing there on your own?
Yeah.
With like this vulnerability, you know, these like your heart being open, and no one to no one to come and reciprocate. And the complete opposite is someone completely owning up to.
Yeah.
By the way, I love you. There's absolutely no pressure for you to say something that you are not there, but this is, and I need to honor my truth.
Yeah.
My truth is that I am in a place right now where I have big feelings for you, and I feel it, and I felt the impulse, I felt the need to express that.
Yeah. I mean, in that, as I'm hearing you, I'm thinking like, Carrie is so self-absorbed that even with something that was for him, she made it about her.
Of course she did. Of course she did, right?
Okay.
And then this like the insecurity straight away is like you need to then it needs to be for me to feel it back, because at the end of the day these are just words.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
For me to feel it back, it needs to look like this, like this, like this, like this. And if it's not done in a week, then I break up. Then it's like when someone proposes to someone,
Yeah.
and they're not ready for that step,
Yeah.
but they still want to be with this person.
Yeah.
And I find it so not nice when people break up just because
They're not. Yeah.
they're not there. Like that is it's you might still need just one step more for you to be at that space. It's not because you were there before the other person that it means that you just let go of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's the episode. Now, I know you have been so busy with Journey. It has been great to watch you travel, put the word out there, see the community grow. I would love you to tell our listeners what's going on with Journey. What are you excited about? What's coming up?
Yeah, so I mean, in the listeners, I don't know if you have any therapists or coaches that are accredited coaches that are also listening to this, but if they are, I would love for them to come and join Journey. The way I'm explaining it a little bit, super simply, is just like we're an online private members club in a way, that is really exclusive to therapists and coaches. We do online events. We have a community that is based in like 19 different cities. Like you were saying before, like we help them with their like businesses. So whether it's growing their online presence, getting clients, finding different types of business opportunities to diversify their revenue, or just learning stuff. And we're having amazing speakers coming and sharing their knowledge, giving people tools. And I think it's just been really nice for the community to feel like they have a platform that actually really cares and like supports them and wants to grow with them. And it's been really nice because, well, it's been very busy on my end because there are two things that I'm having to do now. It's getting new members, but then every member that comes in, I sit with everyone. I know everyone on a personal level. I know where everyone is a bit in their own journey, what they might need from us. So, it's a very personal thing. I just love meeting these incredible people, and you've met some of our members.
Yes, Erica's coming back in a couple of episodes.
I love her. But they're all amazing.
They are all amazing, and I also love your socials because I feel like you are introducing therapy in such a fun way that like it's no longer that kind of taboo of like, oh, you're in therapy, what's wrong with you? But it's more like, here are a bunch of tools, and like I think you also humanize a lot of like issues like anxiety, shame, guilt, and stuff like that in a way that is like, fuck, this really resonates with me. And I mean, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So I'll plug in the website and the socials.
Thank you.
And for any therapists out there, do reach out.
I appreciate that. And obviously, if anyone wants to start that journey, they can always like message me privately and be like, hey, I'm looking for a therapist. This is what I'm looking for, more or less. Can we get on the call 20 minutes just to tell, I can tell you. And then I'll personally
matchmake,
literally. Because I want people to find the right person.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. I'll talk to you soon.